Belur Math, the Tirtha of Tirthas for all spiritual seekers. Belur Math, the ultimate answer to all religious queries and all religious unrest. Belur Math, the worldwide headquarters of the Ramakrishna Math and Mission. Belur Math, the architectural manifestation of Swami Vivekananda's dream of having a permanent abode for his master, Sri Ramakrishna. The Ramakrishna order represents a new pattern in monastic life. Ramakrishna Mission is run and maintained by sannyasins who have given up worldly life to dedicate themselves in the pursuit of self-realization while serving humanity. The motto of the Ramakrishna Math and Mission is, "For one's own salvation and for the welfare of the world." It is in this spirit that sadhus of the Ramakrishna order dedicate their entire life. The main temple, dedicated to Sri Ramakrishna, is the center of spiritual activity for the monks of the Ramakrishna Mission and also for the countless devotees of Sri Ramakrishna. It is spread over an area of more than 40 acres of land on the western bank of the Ganga, in Howrah district, an hour's drive from Kolkata. The visitors who come here are of various spiritual orientation and temperament, but all are equally welcome here. Even people not interested in religion come here for the peace it exudes. This temple is a three-dimensional representation of Sri Ramakrishna's spiritual message. First, God realization alone is the goal of human life. Second, all religions are various paths to God realization. And third, God can be realized in this very human birth by complete dedication to truth and renunciation. The harmony and synthesis of religions practiced by the great master of spirituality is symbolized in the temple architecture, which is a unique amalgamation of motifs taken from Christian, Hindu and Muslim architecture. Swami Vivekananda uttered these prophetic words about Belur Math, "The blazing light of universal harmony that will emanate from here will flood the whole world. From this place will spring forth ideals which will be the harmony of knowledge, devotion, yoga and work. All true seekers of spirituality will in course of time assemble here." The Hindu scriptures assert that whenever there is a decline of spiritual values in the world, God takes up a physical form and sets correct the malady that might harm the world order. The 19th and the 20th century are characterized by religious aggression, threatening not only human life, but also the entire world order. It was during these times that Sri Ramakrishna was born in a poor family on 18th February 1836 at Kamarpukur, a small village in Bengal. From his infancy, he showed signs of spiritual bend of mind. When he was only 7, the sudden loss of his father made him strongly feel the impermanence of this world. He was increasingly drawn towards the knowledge that would help him realize God. When he was 17 years old, he came to Kolkata. Subsequently, he became the priest of Dakshineshwar Kali temple. The holy and serene environment of the temple, the Ganga and the secluded forest nearby inspired him to practice intense sadhana. This led him to the darshan of goddess Kali. After this, Divine Mother took charge of Sri Ramakrishna's spiritual sadhanas. Accordingly, she brought expert sadhakas to Dakshineshwar to guide Sri Ramakrishna on various traditions of sadhana. Thus he attained supreme knowledge in all the paths to the divine as taught by different sects of Hinduism as well as Islam and Christianity. These experiences led Sri Ramakrishna to utter the famous verse, Jato Moth, Tato Poth. All religions lead to the same goal, though paths are different. Sri Ramakrishna's main teaching is, the goal of human life is God realization. This goal can be attained by practice of truthfulness and renunciation of lust and wealth. He himself was the embodiment of absolute truthfulness and renunciation. It is a common belief that renunciation is meant only for monks or sannyasis. But Sri Ramakrishna said it is possible for householders too. Remain in the samsara like a housemaid. In the master's house, the maid does all the work as if it were her own house. However, in her mind, she knows that nothing belongs to her. Sri Ramakrishna told his devotees to always remember God while performing their daily duties. He said, hold on to God with one hand, do your work with the other. When work is over, hold on to God with both hands. Among the devotees, he identified a few young boys to carry out his mission of establishing dharma in this age. These young boys were unsullied by worldly life. He started giving them spiritual instructions separately and molded them in a manner fit to carry out the great work. In Kashipur Garden House, the genesis of Ramakrishna mission was laid by him. One day, he gave ochre clothes to this chosen group of young disciples and asked them to go out for begging their food, just as sannyasis do. Referring to these young boys, Sri Ramakrishna told Narendranath, I leave these young people at your charge. Bind them together with love and develop their spirituality. Here one day, he wrote on a piece of paper, Naren will teach the world. Thus, Sri Ramakrishna authorized Swami Vivekananda to become a world teacher and provide leadership to his mission for rejuvenation of the people. After the Mahasamadhi of Sri Ramakrishna, with the monetary support from Sri Surendranath Mitra, a monastery was started in a dilapidated house at Baranagar. It was in this monastery that in 1887, Narendranath, along with his brother monks, formally took sannyasa vows by performing Viraja Homa. Thus, a new monastic order in the name of Ramakrishna took birth. After 6 years, the house became unlivable, and the monastery was moved to Alam Bazar in 1892. Swami Vivekananda wanted to have the relics of Sri Ramakrishna permanently housed in an enduring and imposing temple. He was constantly worried that 11 years had passed, still he could not find out a permanent place for the temple. At last, on the western bank of the Ganga, just opposite the Baranagar Mutt, on Belur Katkola Road, 18 bhighas of land was found suitable for the temple. In 1898, due to an earthquake, cracks developed in Alambazar monastery. Therefore, a need was felt again to shift the mutt. Meanwhile, the process of acquiring the plot at Belur for constructing the permanent mutt premises was in progress. To facilitate easy supervision of developing this new monastery, Nilambar Mukherjee's garden house nearby was taken on rent and the monastery was shifted there. Swami Vijnananda, who was a reputed civil engineer, prepared the site plan for the shrine of Sri Ramakrishna, monastic quarters, at the new piece of land in Belur. Swami Vijnananda drew a sketch of Ramakrishna temple using Swamiji's guidelines. Swamiji was pleased when he saw the sketch and said, "This temple will certainly come up, but I may not live to see it. I will see it from above." On 27 February 1898, on the auspicious occasion of Sri Ramakrishna's Tithi Puja, Swamiji arranged a special puja of Sri Ramakrishna at the new site. Sri Ramakrishna had told Naren, "I will go and live wherever you take me, carrying me on your shoulder, be it under a tree or in the humblest cottage." Keeping these words in mind, Swamiji carried the relics of Sri Ramakrishna on his right shoulder and led the procession of monks and devotees to the new site for the mutt. Swamiji himself conducted the worship of the relics and lit the sacrificial fire. He then cooked payasam and offered it to Sri Ramakrishna. After finishing the puja, Swamiji addressed the assembly. When the construction of the new mutt building was almost complete, on 12th November 1898, Holy Mother visited this place and worshipped Sri Ramakrishna here. On 2nd January 1899, the mutt was officially shifted from Nilambar Mukherjee's house to the new premises of Belur Math. Nearly 3 decades passed after the establishment of Belur Math, but still Swamiji's dream of a grand temple for Sri Ramakrishna did not become a reality. On 13th March 1929, on Sri Ramakrishna's birthday, the then Sangha Guru, Swami Shivanandaji, laid the foundation stone for the Ramakrishna temple. Swami Vivekananda wanted 3 features in the temple. First, Nat Mandir and Garbha Mandir should not be detached as in a Hindu temple, but should be connected like that in a Christian church. Second, Garbha Mandir should have a dome roof as in Islamic architecture. And third, the other architectural moldings of the temple should be as per traditional Hindu temples. Accordingly, a detailed plan for the temple was finalized. The estimated cost of construction was nearly 6 lakh rupees. This huge expenditure became an impediment for immediate construction of the temple. Fortunately, after a few years, Mrs. Helen F. Rubel and Mrs. Anna Wooster, disciples of Swami Akhilananda, the head of Vedanta Society of Providence, USA, donated 6.5 lakh rupees for the temple. On 16 July 1935, on the auspicious occasion of Guru Purnima, Swami Vijnananandaji relaid the foundation stone 100 feet south to the original location. It took nearly 3 years to complete the entire construction of the temple. Sri Gopeshwar Pal, the famous sculptor of Kumartuli in Kolkata, was entrusted the job of sculpting Sri Ramakrishna's marble image. Sri Nandalal Bose, the famous Oriental artist of Kolkata, was entrusted to do the ornamental work of the temple. On 14 January 1938, on the auspicious occasion of Makara Sankranti, the consecration of the temple took place. Accompanied by a huge procession of monks, brahmacharis and devotees, Swami Vijnanananda carried Sri Ramakrishna's relics to the new temple. Later he said, "I vividly saw Swamiji, Rakhal Maharaj, Mahapurush Maharaj, Sharat Maharaj and others standing in the southwest corner of the Garbha Mandir watching the ceremony." Finally, Swamiji's dream of having a magnificent temple for Sri Ramakrishna, consisting of a spacious Garbha Mandir and a huge hall for seating 1,000 devotees, was fulfilled. Sri Ramakrishna's Tithi Puja or birthday celebration is the main festival of Belur Math. It was started by his devotees during his stay in Dakshineshwar. Records say that in 1896, about 20,000 devotees participated in the festival. For a few years, the festival was organized in Dakshineshwar. The festival begins with Prabhat Pheri or temple pradakshina early at dawn.
Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam Sharanye. Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam Sharanye. Kripa hi kevalam, Kripa hi kevalam, Kripa hi kevalam Sharanye. Prabhu Kripa hi kevalam, Kripa hi kevalam, Kripa hi kevalam Sharanye. Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam Sharanye. Sharanagatoham, Sharanagatoham, Sharanagatoham Sharanye. Sharanagatoham, Sharanagatoham, Sharanagatoham Sharanye. Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam Sharanye. Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam, Ramakrishna Sharanam Sharanye. Ramakrishna Sharanam.
Every year, the public celebration of Sri Ramakrishna's birthday is conducted on the following Sunday of Thakur's Tithi Puja. Temples are kept open whole day for the devotees. Throughout the day, various cultural programs are organized.
शंकर विश्वेश्वर नारायण, शंकर विश्वेश्वर नारायण, जयतु जयतु राम कृष्ण पदे, कृष्ण पदे, जयतु जयतु राम कृष्ण पदे, कृष्ण पदे. कोटि शशि रूप सम सराल मनोरम, कोटि शशि रूप सम सराल मनोरम, निर्गुण सदा शुभ नंद रूपे, नंद रूपे. जयतु राम कृष्ण पदे, कृष्ण पदे, जयतु राम कृष्ण पदे, कृष्ण पदे.
In the evening, there is a grand display of fireworks which marks the end of the celebrations. The Sri Ramakrishna temple is divided into three parts: the entrance, the Nat Mandir and the Garbha Mandir. The entrance resembles a South Indian Gopuram. It is composed of grand arches, chhatris and domes. The monogram of the Ramakrishna Mutt and Ramakrishna Mission is placed just above the Singadwar. This emblem is a unique work of art designed by Swamiji. The wavy water symbolizes karma. The lotus represents bhakti, and the rising sun denotes jnana. The encircling serpent is indicative of yoga and awakened Kundalini Shakti, while the swan in the picture stands for Paramatman. Therefore, the ideal of the picture is that by the union of karma, jnana, bhakti and yoga, the vision of the Paramatman is obtained. Swamiji observed the spiritual oneness of collective prayer in churches and mosques. He was fascinated with the vastness of the prayer area. In his proposed temple, he wanted a hall where 1,000 people can sing and pray together. This hall, apart from being used for daily prayer and meditation, is also used to perform Lakshmi Puja, Kali Puja, Saraswati Puja and Shivratri annually, and Ram Nam Sankirtan on every Ekadashi. Normally, the Tithi Puja of Sri Ramakrishna's direct disciples is performed in this hall along with Sri Ramakrishna's worship and Homa. Here the birthdays of Sri Rama, Sri Krishna, Buddha, Sri Chaitanya and Jesus Christ are also celebrated in a solemn way. All these pujas are conducted here so that Sri Ramakrishna can witness all the celebrations. This is the Sanctum Sanctorum, or Garbha Mandir of Sri Ramakrishna. The pedestal and canopy is designed by renowned artist Nandalal Bose of Kolkata. The image of the deity has three parts: the altar, the bloomed lotus and the idol. The altar is curved in the middle like Damru of Lord Shiva. 3 Hamsas or mythical swans are engraved on 3 sides of the altar because Sri Ramakrishna is known as Paramahamsa or the Great Swan. On the altar, Sri Ramakrishna is sitting on a fully blossomed lotus. This is in accordance with Swamiji's wishes, who wanted Sri Ramakrishna to be seated on a 1,000-petal lotus on top of a swan. The Garbha Mandir is serene and austere, devoid of any ornate decoration, befitting the ideal of Sri Ramakrishna. In an enclosure on the eastern wall, Holy Mother Sri Sharda Devi's holy dust of her feet is kept. A Baneshwara Shivalinga is kept in the enclosure on the western wall. Daily, Sri Ramakrishna is worshipped in this Shivalinga. The temple is adorned with motifs and ornamentations reflecting the art and architecture of various parts of India. Swamiji had a desire to have idols carved all over the temple. So, keeping Swamiji's wish in mind, the architects wisely put the Navagraha idols around the Garbha Mandir of the temple.
सागर तारन कारण है रवि नंदन बंधन खंडन है भव सागर तारन कारण है रवि नंदन बंधन खंडन है शरणागत किंकर भीत मने शरणागत की दिगंबर तामस भास्कर हे तुमी विष्णु प्रजापति शंकर हे पर ब्रह्म परात्पर वेद भने पर ब्रह्म परात्पर वेद भने गुरुदेव दया कर दीन जाने गुरुदेव दया कर दीन जाने गुरुदेव दया कर दीन जाने.
To the north of the temple stands the courtyard. During early days of Belur Math, this was the main Math complex. There are 5 main buildings around this courtyard. This is the Math office. Activities like worship in the temples, annual celebration of Durga Puja and other festivals, maintenance of the temple premises, welfare of monks and devotees are administered from this office. Monetary offerings for worship and sadhu seva are also received here. In the northwest corner stands the dining hall for monks. On the northern side of the courtyard stands the old shrine of Sri Ramakrishna. From 1899 to 1938, Sri Ramakrishna was worshipped here. It was the first permanent abode for Sri Ramakrishna, a long-cherished dream of Swami Vivekananda. In the beginning, worship began by placing Sri Ramakrishna's mortal relics preserved in a copper vessel on the pedestal. Later, Sri Ramakrishna's photograph was added on the pedestal by Swamiji. Sri Ramakrishna has been worshipped here by Swamiji and many direct disciples. During those days, it was here that lay devotees got their formal initiation and brahmacharins took their sannyasa vows. The condensed holiness of this place facilitates meditation and spiritual peace. Next to the old shrine is Swami Shivanandaji's room. When the main shrine was located here, the adjacent room was used as the bedroom of Sri Ramakrishna. It's a general practice of the monks of this order to meditate in Thakur's bedroom. On the day of his Mahasamadhi, Swami Vivekananda came here in the morning and meditated for 3 hours. In 1938, Sri Ramakrishna's shrine was shifted to the new temple. Since then, Swami Shivanandaji's relics have been kept here for the darshan of visitors. During the early years of the Belur Math, rooms below the old temple housed the Math office, kitchen, dining hall and storeroom. Just as a nation cannot be fully understood without reading its literature and experiencing its cultural festivals, to know Ramakrishna Mission, one should know about the various festivals organized here. Durga Puja is the second major festival in Belur Math. The worship of Devi Durga as per traditional rituals have made Durga Puja and Belur Math synonymous.
ऐगिरि नंदिनी नंदित मेदिनी विश्व विनोदिनी नंदनुते गिरिवर विंध्य शिरोधिनी वासिनी विष्णु विलासिनी जिष्णुनुते भगवती हेशिति कंठ कुटुंबिनी भूरि कुटुंबिनी भूरि कृते जय जय हे महिषासुरमर्दिनी रम्यकपर्दिनी शैलसुते जय जय हे महिषासुरमर्दिनी रम्यकपर्दिनि शैलसुते।
Kumari Puja is the highlight of Belur Math Durga Puja. On Maha-Ashtami morning, a young girl of 6 to 7 years is worshipped as the living goddess with all splendor. This special worship attracts the largest crowd of devotees. Dashami rings in the departure of Devi Durga. With a heavy heart, the devotees bid her farewell. Then Mother Durga is ceremoniously taken to Mother's Ghat for immersion. To the eastern side of the courtyard is a famous mango tree. This mango tree is the only living witness of more than 100 years of Belur Math's development. During the early days of Belur Math, it was the only tree in the courtyard that provided adequate shade. Swamiji was very fond of this tree. It was under this tree that Swamiji used to conduct classes and meet brother monks and other disciples. Bhakta Seva is one of the major activities conducted by the Math. Sri Ramakrishna himself liked to feed the devotees. Keeping that tradition alive, a huge kitchen and dining hall have been erected for this purpose. A lot of people are engaged in this noble work. Every day, about 1,000 devotees take lunch prasad here. To the north of the dining hall for devotees is Legate House. In 1901, during Durga Puja festival, Holy Mother came to Belur Math and stayed in this house. Later also, she stayed in this room for a couple of times. This was the main monastery when the Math shifted from Nilambar Babu's house to Belur Math campus. All direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna stayed in this building. Swami Vivekananda's room is in the top southeast corner. This is Swami Vivekananda's room. Swamiji lived here from 1898. Swamiji left his mortal frame on 4th of July 1902 in this very room. Items used by him like paduka, clothes, turban, tiger skin asana, etc. are preserved here. From Swamiji's room, a road towards the south. Mated here. Every day his Dasopachar Puja is performed here. Sri Ramakrishna had identified Rakhal Maharaj as Brojer Rakhal, a childhood companion of Sri Krishna. An image of child Krishna is placed in front of the statue. Holy celebration by the monks is a colorful attraction of Belur Math. A joyous atmosphere is created by kirtan and dance by the monks.
Govinda Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Radha Madhava Hari Govinda Jai Jai Govinda Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Radha Madhava Hari Govinda Jai Jai Yadav Jai Jai Keshava Jai Madhusudana Murali Mohan Jai Jai Yadav Jai Jai Keshava Jai Madhusudana Murali Mohan Jai Jai Govinda Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Radha Madhava Hari Govinda Jai Jai Govinda Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Radha Madhava Hari Govinda Jai Jai Govinda Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Govinda Jai Jai Gopal.
This is Holy Mother Sri Sharda Devi's temple. Sri Sharda Devi is the spiritual consort of Sri Ramakrishna. She is reverently called Holy Mother. Swami Vivekananda regarded Holy Mother as the ideal for modern women. she initiated a great spiritual and social awakening in women. She was born on 22nd December 1853 to a pious Brahmin family in Jairambati village of West Bengal. At the age of 5, Holy Mother got married to Sri Ramakrishna. In later years, Sri Ramakrishna taught her how to lead a spiritual life while discharging household duties. After Sri Ramakrishna's Mahasamadhi, Sharda Devi began to accept spiritual seekers as her disciples. She said, "Sri Ramakrishna left me behind to manifest the motherhood of God to the world. I can't contain myself when one draws near me and calls me mother." Her universal motherhood, full of boundless love and compassion, embraced all people without any distinction, including many who had led sinful lives. Holy Mother thus said, "I am the mother of the virtuous, I am the mother of the wicked. Whenever you are in distress, say to yourself, I have a mother." Holy Mother laid emphasis on regular japam. She told her disciples, one must experience the effect of past action, but japa minimizes its effect. A couple of days before her Mahasamadhi, Mother remarked, "My child, if you want peace, do not look into anybody's faults. Rather, see your own faults. Learn to make the world your own. No one is a stranger, my child. The whole world is your own." After Holy Mother's Mahasamadhi on 21st July 1920 at Udbodhan House in Kolkata, her mortal remains were consigned to flames at this very spot. When her last rites were taking place, Swami Shardananda Ji remarked, "Sati's body got scattered in 51 different places, creating 51 Shakti Peethas. But here in Belur Math, the whole body of the Divine Mother is being cremated. It has become a veritable Mahashakti Peeth." This temple has been erected on the sacred spot where her last rites were performed. On Holy Mother's birthday on December 21st, 1921, this temple was consecrated. Every day, Mother's Dasopachar Puja is performed here. From the time of consecration of this temple, Holy Mother's Tithi Puja is celebrated here with much pomp and grandeur.
শ্রী শারদামণি করুণা রূপিণী জয় মা, জয় জয় জননী জয় শ্রী শারদামণি করুণা রূপিণী জয় মা। আদ্যা শকতি পরমা প্রকৃতি, আদ্যা শকতি পরমা প্রকৃতি, অসরণ গতি তুমি মা, অসরণ গতি তুমি মা। জয় জগতারিণী ভব ভয় হারিণী, দুর্গতি নিবারিণী মা। সিদ্ধি প্রদায়িনী মুক্তি বিধায়িনী, সিদ্ধি প্রদায়িনী মুক্তি বিধায়িনী, জীবগতি দায়িনী মা, জীবগতি দায়িনী মা।
These three Deodar trees are located between Holy Mother's temple and Swamiji's temple. These are standing here since the establishment of Belur Math. Just few yards Deodar trees stands Swami Vivekananda's temple. The temple stands on the spot where Swamiji's mortal remains were cremated. 3 days before attaining Mahasamadhi, he pointed to this spot near the Vilva tree and told his brother monk Premanandaji, "When I give up this body, cremate it there." On the ground floor is Swamiji's shrine with his marble relief. Daily worship of Swamiji is performed here. Swami Vivekananda was born as Narendranath in an aristocratic Bengali family of Kolkata in 1863. From childhood, his father Vishwanath Datta's rational mind and mother Bhuvaneshwari Devi's religious temperament influenced him. At the threshold of youth, Narendra had to pass through a period of spiritual crisis when he was assailed by doubts about the existence of God. This brought him to Sri Ramakrishna in November 1881. He asked Sri Ramakrishna, "Sir, have you seen God?" Without a moment's hesitation, Sri Ramakrishna replied, "Yes, I have. I see him as clearly as I see you, only in a much more intense sense." These emphatic words proved to be the turning point of his life. During the course of next 5 years, Sri Ramakrishna molded Narendra to become his chief instrument for spreading his message. As a monk, he took the name Swami Vivekananda. Later, while travelling the length and breadth of India as a wandering monk, Swami Vivekananda realized the urgent need to free the masses of India from the appalling poverty and backwardness. In 1893, he represented Hinduism in the Parliament of World Religions at Chicago. His message of Vedanta to the West was received with much adulation in America and England. From America, he exhorted the people to love India. He wrote, "They alone live who live for others. The rest are more dead than alive." On his return to India, he gave a series of lectures throughout the Indian subcontinent to arouse masses on the lines of practical Vedanta teachings. He inspired the educated Indians to serve the deprived masses. He said, "So long as the millions live in hunger and ignorance, I hold every man a traitor, who, having been educated at their expense, pays not the least heed to them." On 1st May 1897, Swami Vivekananda founded Ramakrishna Mission at Kolkata. It became the organ for fulfilling Sri Ramakrishna's word, Shivogyani Jiva Seva. This was the beginning of an organized socio-religious movement in India to serve the masses through educational, cultural, medical and relief work. Upstairs there's a shrine with a marble image of Om to honor his love for Vedanta. Every year, Swamiji's Tithi Puja is celebrated here according to lunar calendar. In 1985, the Government of India declared Swamiji's birthday, 12th January, as National Youth Day, to pay homage to Swamiji's immense contribution to rejuvenate the youth of modern India. Since then, National Youth Day is observed all over India. For this occasion, Belur Math organizes youth programs like rallies, essay competition, elocution, debate, and cultural programs on Swamiji to commemorate this day. Thousands of youth congregate to participate on this occasion.
Swadesh Videsh Ujjwala हुआ तुम्हारे नवीन तंत्र, आकाश पवन गूंज उठा है तुम्हारा मोहन मंत्र। स्वदेश विदेश उज्जवल हुआ तुम्हारे नवीन तंत्र, आकाश पवन गूंज उठा है तुम्हारा मोहन मंत्र। नंदित धरा मंदिर माही धर्म का सरगंध, हमारे विवेकानंद तुम हो विश्व विवेकानंद, हमारे विवेकानंद तुम हो विश्व विवेकानंद।
Just beside Swamiji's temple stood a Vilva tree that was very much liked by him. The original Vilva tree has been replaced by a new plant. South of Swamiji's temple is the Punya Shmoshan Bhumi, cremation ground for the monks of Belur Math. From 1909, the sadhus of Belur Math are cremated here. It has 3 enclosures. In this enclosure, 7 direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna were cremated. This memorial lists their names and dates of cremation. This enclosure is used for Sangha Gurus of the Ramakrishna order. In this enclosure, all other monks of Belur Math are cremated. To the west of Samadhi Ghat is Sangha Guru's residence. In the Ramakrishna tradition, Sangha Gurus are regarded as living Sri Ramakrishna. Devotees can have a darshan of the President Maharaj here. Just opposite to the southern gate of Belur Math is the Palli Mangal showroom. Ramakrishna Mission runs various rural development units called Palli Mangal. The products of these village development units are sold here. Jute bags, asanas, small handloom products, honey, agarbatti can be bought here. Lord Shiva is the traditional Ishtadevata of sannyasis. As the Ramakrishna order is an organization of sannyasis, Shivratri is celebrated with much fervor. The Shiva Nritya, performed in the Sri Ramakrishna temple, is an added attraction for the devotees. just beside Belur Math ferry ghat stands the old Math. It was originally Nilambar Mukherjee's garden house. After the passing away of Sri Ramakrishna, this house was rented a number of times for Holy Mother. Before moving to Belur Math, the Ramakrishna Math was temporarily shifted here from Alam Bazar. In 1888, Holy Mother came to this house for the first time. This is Holy Mother's room. This room has been sanctified by Holy Mother's stay a number of times. Swami Abhedananda recited the hymn Prakritim Paramam to Holy Mother here and was amply blessed by her. Now it is maintained as a shrine. The serene atmosphere of the place, coupled with the scene of the gentle flow of the Ganga, was very much liked by Holy Mother. During her second stay, on May 1893, Holy Mother performed the Panchatapa on this terrace. Panchatapa is an austere spiritual practice in which one has to meditate surrounded by burning fires on four sides and the hot summer sun above. After the Math shifted here in 1898, this place started to vibrate with multifarious activities. This place has been sanctified by the stay of all the direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna. Swami Vivekananda once stated, "With Holy Mother as the center of inspiration, a Math is to be established on the eastern bank of the Ganga. As brahmacharins and sadhus will be trained in Belur Math, so in the other Math also, brahmacharins and sadhuis will be trained." In 1954, on the birth centenary year of Holy Mother, Sharda Math came into existence at Dakshineshwar, with only 4 nuns. At present, the Sharda Math and mission has 29 centers spread across the world. Its activities are like that of Ramakrishna Math and mission.
Shivorin Mohini Vishwavilashini Rama Krishna Jaya Dayini Ma Ananta Rupini Ananta Gunavati Ananta Namni Girije Ma.
To the south of Nilambar Babu's garden house lies the Veda Vidyalaya. Started in August 1993, the Vivekananda Veda Vidyalaya imparts Vedic education along with secular subjects to young boys. Swamiji once said, "It is my wish to convert this Math into a chief center of spiritual practices and the culture of knowledge." His wish became a reality in 1994 when the Ramakrishna Mission Vivekananda University was started. This is the Probationer Training Center. Here, all probationer brahmacharis undergo training for 2 years. It was started in 1958 with 8 brahmacharis. The novice brahmacharis and acharyas stay in this building. In this institution, regular classes are conducted for the trainee brahmacharis on basic Hindu scriptures, lives and teachings of Sri Ramakrishna, Sri Sharda Devi, Swami Vivekananda and other incarnations, Indian and Western philosophy and comparative religion. The novices are also given training in music, Vedic chanting, puja, bookkeeping and gardening. Opposite to the headquarter building stands the Ramakrishna Museum. This museum is unique in its kind. It's a place which vibrates with spirituality. While traversing the pathway around the outer periphery of the museum, one can see scenes depicting Kolkata and Kamarpukur during Sri Ramakrishna's time. The outer walls of the museum are adorned with murals depicting scenes from ancient Vedic times to the present day. Inside the museum, the first and second floors have illustrations on the life of Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother Sri Sharda Devi and Swami Vivekananda, as well as disciples of Sri Ramakrishna. One of the unique features of the museum is that rooms and surroundings in which these holy people lived have been recreated. The replication of the holy atmosphere is further augmented by the display of personal articles used by these people. Once inside the museum, the mind gets easily elevated by the spiritual atmosphere. This fulfills the purpose of the museum.
शक्तिदायी अभय मंत्र का करो प्रचार आज एक बार सुप्त चित्त को जगाओ तामस जड़ता भगाओ चित्त को जगाओ तामस जड़ता भगाओ करो दूर मोह भ्रांति घोर अंधकार आज एक बार करो आज एक बार आओ आओ योगीराज आज एक बार.
This is the headquarters of the Ramakrishna Mutt and Mission. The multifaceted activities of 129 centers in India and 42 centers abroad are regulated from here. It also guides about 960 private centers under Bhav Prachar Parishad. Sri Ramakrishna had said, Shiva Gyane Jiva Seva, which means to serve human beings as God. Annadanam, Arogyadanam, Vidyadanam and Jnanadanam form the four facets of work done by the various centers of Ramakrishna Mutt and Mission. According to 2010 annual report, in medical field, the mission has served 80,75,000 patients through its 15 hospitals, 130 dispensaries and 59 mobile dispensaries. In educational field, the mission has served 3,85,000 students through its numerous schools and colleges. In cultural field, all the centers and Bhav Prachar Parishad regularly organize programs for providing moral and spiritual guidance to the society. For spreading Sanatana Dharma and the message of Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother and Swami Vivekananda, a huge number of books and magazines in all 20 Indian languages and various foreign languages are also published by the mission. Ramakrishna Mission has established itself as a major social service and disaster management organization. During natural calamities like earthquake, tsunami, flood and drought, the Ramakrishna Mission takes up relief and rehabilitation work for the afflicted people in India and abroad on a huge scale. Every 3 years, a conference of monks is organized in Belur Math. Hundreds of monks from the different centers around the world congregate here. From the humble beginning at a dilapidated house in Baranagar, the Ramakrishna order has grown to become a large banyan tree consisting of hundreds of monks. Belur Math has indeed become a spiritual center of importance which attracts hundreds of people every day. Swamiji's prophetic words are indeed coming true. The blazing light of universal harmony that will emanate from here will flood the whole world. All true seekers of spirituality will, in course of time, assemble here. The serene and holy atmosphere of Belur Math easily elevates the mind to a peaceful plane.
Sa